Hey Threadheads, I am Jennifer Perkins with Naughty Secretary Club and also with the Austin Craft Mafia. Welcome to South by Southwest. I hope y'all are having a good time watching Rob and Corinne every day get all the crafty goodness in about Austin. We are standing here in line for the Fader Party, which is a rather coveted party to get into. So, little tip, if you're coming to town for South by Southwest, sure get a wristband, but also applies to free parties. This guy is awesome. Okay, Threadheads, next you are going to go see my good friend, Miss Tina Sparkles of Sparkle Craft, whip up some crafty goodness for you. Hey Threadheads, welcome to my house. Hi, my name is Tina and we're here in my studio / closet in Austin, Texas. It's crazy just because there are so many creative people in Austin to begin with, just in every area, like film, music, crafts, fashion. It's just this little hotspot in the middle of Texas that's full of creative people, and I feel like it's just growing. Over the last 3 years, I've been creating a wardrobe for myself that is completely recycled. I think my earliest memories of making stuff was in 6th grade. I used to like redo t-shirts and make tight tube skirts. And so Bust Magazine is having a party on Saturday for South by Southwest, and I'm going to be there crafting with the Austin Craft Mafia. I need a cute outfit to wear, so I'm going to revamp this elastic waist dress to wear on Saturday. The first thing that I need to do with this dress is to try it on, and I put a few key pins in place just to let myself know when I take it off that's where I want my new waistline to be. So I'm going to bring this waistline up, and also I put a pin right here because I have this little sort of overlap thing and I want to stitch that down. So let me go take this off and I'll be right back.
Rated E10 plus the T. Play the games everyone wants to play.
First thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to separate the bodice portion from the skirt portion right here at the waistline where we have this elastic. So I'm going to measure down from the point of my pin about 3/4 of an inch and just kind of make a little rough line. And I'm kind of a little rock and roll about this sometimes. If you wanted to, you could take your time and really make sure that you're making a perfect line. I like to just do it really quick, and most of the time it turns out okay. Sometimes it doesn't, but I'm okay with that. Mistakes happen. That's just one thing you have to live with if you're going to enter into a life of sewing. And then once you have your line, you're going to go ahead and cut along the line. Okay, voila, this is off. You can just throw it to the side, use it for another project later, make a little bow for your hair, or headband, something. Everything is useful. Here's the skirt, and I'm going to remove this elastic from the skirt piece. What we want to do now is sew these two together, and in an ideal world, the space along the top of the skirt would equal the space all around the bottom of this bodice. And I'm just going to start pinning it together and see what happens. So I'm going to flip this skirt inside out and place it over the top of the bodice so that it looks like this. So here's the right side of the skirt, here's the right side of the bodice, and I'm going to place my first pins at the side seams so that the side seams match up. Super nice. And then start filling in pins around the rest of the waistline. Okay, so now that I have it all pinned together, I'm going to go over to my sewing machine and stitch it all together. I'm going to be using a 3/4 inch seam allowance for this. Once you have your bodice stitched to your skirt, you're going to place another regular stitch along the raw edge of your seam allowance. And go around one more time. So now that I have my seam sewn and my additional stitch along the raw edge, I'm going to use my pinking shears to clean up the edges, the raw edges of this seam. If you don't have pinking shears, you can use a zigzag stitch to finish off your raw edges. Once you have your seams cleaned up with a zigzag stitch or pinking shears, you're going to take that seam allowance and fold it down towards the skirt. And we're going to place a stitch all along this raw edge. Make sure and leave a little gap in the casing so that you can thread your elastic through it. Once you have your casing sewn down with a little gap, you're going to grab a piece of elastic and put it around your body at the spot where you are creating your new waistline. Cut it a little bit longer than you would like because we're going to be overlapping this piece of elastic. Okay, so find your gap in your casing and then you're going to feed it through the casing. Once you have the elastic thread through the casing, you're going to stitch these two ends together. Once you have that stitched together, you're just going to evenly distribute the elastic. And then you remember that little gap we had? We want to now sew that up. Alright, so I hope you've had fun learning how to make an elastic casing and to ship the waistline of a dress. If you want to learn some more from me, I teach classes at First Samples. That's firstsamples.com. See ya! Bye, Threadheads! Oh wait, that's upside down.
And sometimes it's about the bands, and sometimes it's about where the free drinks are, and sometimes it's about your friends texting you and going, come over here, it's the best party ever. So it's a lot of running around. I feel like I walk as much as I actually listen to music.
Well, Threadheads, that concludes our coverage of South by Southwest. Thanks so much for coming along for the ride.
A big thanks to Xbox Live for hooking us up with a trip. Make sure you guys head over to xboxlive.com. Otherwise, we're taking off. We're going to hit up some parties.
Yeehaw!
See ya.
This episode of Threadbanger is brought to you by Xbox Live.